Hi, this is Carl with another super success video for IT service providers. Today I want to talk about maintaining the font of wisdom within your company. Well, really, it's not quite as highfalutin as it sounds. Here's what I mean. You have to maintain good training on your own procedures and policies within your company because they will deteriorate over time. Now, you all know the story. You've seen this exercise from when you were a kid, where you line everybody up, and one person whispers to the next, then that person whispers to the next, and they call it the telegraph or telephone line or something like that. And the idea is that by the time that the message gets to the end of the line, it will have changed, right? I've always thought that this was an incredibly stupid exercise simply because I was a kid, right? All the other kids were kids. If you line up 20 kids and you put them through that exercise, somebody somewhere in the middle of that is going to intentionally change the message. We all know that. We knew that as kids. How the teacher didn't know that, I have no idea. So the lesson that they wanted you to get out of this was that, communication is difficult and it changes over time and blah, 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 when we all knew that the entire exercise was stupid because there's always somebody changing things intentionally. Now, skip ahead a decade or two or six. In your business, people try very hard, and I believe that they are very sincere in trying to get across the messages that you send. This is how we do things. This is why we do things. This is what our policies are. This is what our procedures are. But you have to fight a very natural human tendency called entropy. In physics, entropy is simply the word they give to the fact that things fall apart. Things move from order to disorder naturally. This happens in your business. So you can have a great process. You can say, look, we get paid in advance for everything. We, put all of our time in the ticketing system. We put good notes in our system. We only charge for ads, moves, changes, right? We got all these policies, all these procedures. Great. But here's what happens. Your super good, amazing, and spectacular service manager trains a technician, and that technician is great, and they're awesome, and they do the best job that they possibly can. And then the next person who gets hired, that great, spectacular technician trains them. And they are very well-intentioned, they're trying the best they can, but it's been a year. A few processes have changed a little bit because there was a hardware update, there was a software update, there was a legal update, there was a policy change in the company. Something happened. If your documentation is not well maintained, there's nothing for them to look back to and say, oh, this is the new procedure, this is the evolved procedure, this is the current procedure. So they train the best they can, but also, let's say that there's one piece of a process for setting up a new computer, for example, that is true 90% of the time, but it's not true 10% of the time. So they have to use their best judgment. That's all good. That's why we hire professionals. But when they go to train the next person, they're going to say, now, a lot of the time this happens, but some of the times that happens, right? And without intending to change the message, they give a different training than you would have given. So when I talk about maintaining the font of wisdom in your business, you, the owner, the manager watching this video, probably have a very high level understanding of all the processes and all the procedures and how they fit together and how they create the way you go to market, the way you show up in the world, which means your branding. Remember, branding is every single thing you do. It's not one thing, it's not the public face, it's certainly not your logo. It is how all of it works together to become your brand of service. Now, well-intentioned people will, over time, alter that a little bit, again, because the laws have changed, the time has changed, the software has changed, lots of things change over time. So there's two things you have to do to make sure that you keep things on track and maintain the font of your own wisdom. First, you have to make sure your documentation is up to date. You know, I'm about to teach a class on checklists, right? Lesson 1 and lesson 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 is the last item on every checklist is update the checklist, right? So no matter who you're having execute a checklist, whether it's an employee, an outsourced person, right, even yourself, when it's done, if anything is different, if a version number has to be changed, if a screenshot is wrong, whatever it might be, take a minute or two and update the documentation. And that way, whether you inform people of it or not, when they download the documentation and they look at it, they, oh, I see that this has changed. And even if they don't see, they'll follow the new correct documentation. So thing number 1 is you have to keep your documentation up to date. And a lot of people say, oh, I don't have time for that, blah, blah, blah. The worst excuse in the world is that I don't have time to do it the right way, because I always have time to do it over. That's just absurd. Take an extra minute here and there, keep your documentation up to date, and it will always be up to date, and then you're never going to have to redo a job because somebody did it wrong the first time. So that's thing number 1, keep your documentation up to date. The second thing you need to do is to constantly engage your employees, your technicians, in a discussion about the way you do things. I just exchanged some emails with somebody who's one of my coaching clients about how we do things, and they've got the way that they do things, and it's awesome. And I was like, man, this is spectacular. Everybody needs to do this. There needs to be an approach. Once again, your branding is how you do everything. So put it out there and say, we do things right the first time. We focus on professionalism. We train people on our technology. We train them on our processes, procedures. We hold them accountable to a higher standard. We have entered an era. We are in it, and it will continue for a long time, where really big companies, large MSPs, are going out in the market and intentionally giving lower levels of service. They are literally lying to clients. We're going to promise all these things, and they deliver very little. They know this from the beginning. And that's the market you're going to be in for a while. Many people in the market will be over-promising and under-delivering because they make more money, and they're far more interested in money in the next quarter, the next 3 months, than they are in building long-term client relationships based on quality service. One way that your brand can stand out is to have an absolute commitment. We will only do things the right way. Here's the right way. We've documented it. We've trained our people. And if people want to get good service done the right way the first time, we're going to be the choice. And let the competition make a little extra money in the short term and lose all the clients in the long term. Unfortunately, we're in this market. This is the way things are going to be for a while. But what you can do inside your company is maintain that font of wisdom, maintain high quality, maintain excellent service. Make sure that your people are doing things the right way, because all you can do is control your own company. You can't control the rest of the world. You can't control your competitors. You can't control clients. You can't control vendors. but you can manage what goes on within your company. So make a commitment, keep your documentation up to spec, and keep your people trained on your processes, procedures, and the way that you do things. I would love your comments and feedback. Please like it if you like it, subscribe to the channel, and for Small Biz Thoughts, this is Carl Polachuk, wishing you the best of luck in everything you do.